Hello. I want to apologize for making everybody bake cookies. I think I understand what Jesus was trying to show me with the recipe. And with the recipe, here instead of regular salt, it was kosher salt. And so I'm looking at the kosher salt thing, and it says right on the label, kosher for Passover. And it's like, oh, so that's what the recipe is. Jesus would like for us to participate in the Jewish feasts. So sorry about the Susan cookie recipe, but yeah, I think that's what it is. Instead of us make cookies for him and leave them out on the in the kitchen, instead of that, so I apologize about that. But instead, he would like for us to participate in the Jewish feast days. And Jesus himself celebrated the Jewish feast days. So, like in the Bible, you have the Feast of Tabernacles. And yeah, there's many Jewish feasts. And there's a lot of them coming this year. And I'll show you a list of them in the meantime. Or I'll do that in a minute. So here, if you go to the book of John, chapter 7, and it's actually verses 1 through 16, but right now I'm just going to shorten it. I'm going to do verse 1 and 2, and then 8 through 16. So after these things, Jesus walked in Galilee, for he did not want to walk in Judea, because the Jews sought to kill him. Now the Jews' Feast of Tabernacles was at hand. And you go up to this feast. I am not yet going up to this feast, for my time has not yet come. So Jesus is talking, to other relatives. When he had said these things to them, he remained in Galilee. And then the name of the next section is the Heavenly Scholar. And so verse 10, but when his brothers had gone up, they also went up to the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret. Then the Jews sought him at the feast, and said, Where is he? And there was much complaining among the people concerning him. Some said, He is good. Others said, No, on the contrary, he deceives the people. However, no one spoke openly of him for fear of the Jews. Now about the middle of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught. And the Jews marveled, saying, How does this man know letters, having never studied? Jesus answered them and said, My doctrine is not mine, but his who sent me. So this just shows you that, yes, I do believe that Jesus wanted us, that the recipe that he showed me, it was an invitation for us all to, if we've never participated in the Jewish feasts, to start looking into that and to prepare, because we are having some Jewish feasts this year in 2014. So for the Feast of Hanukkah, Jesus celebrates it, and it's found in the book of John, chapter 10, verse 22 to 27. Now it was the Feast of Dedication, and it was winter, and Jesus walked into the temple in Solomon's porch. Then the Jews surrounded him and said to him, How long do you keep us in doubt? If you are the Christ, tell us plainly. Jesus answered them, I told you, and you did not believe. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But you do not believe, because you are not of my sheep. As I said to you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And then Jesus celebrated the Feast of Passover, and that's found in the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 7-8. Jesus and his disciples prepare the Passover. So verse 7, Then came the day of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed. And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare the Passover for us, that we may eat. And you're saying, well, does Jesus really want us to do, here you told us before he wanted cookies, and that was a mistake. So does he really want us to do these feasts? And so, yeah, I have a passage for that. And so in the passage, or the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 16-17. So let no one judge you in food or in drink, or regarding a festival, or a new moon or Sabbaths, which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance is of Christ. So these festivals are of Christ. And that's why, if we're, that's why it's a good invitation for us, and for us to participate in these feasts, because these are feasts that Jesus participated in, and we will be learning more of Jesus and more of the Bible, and more closer to God if we do these same feasts that Jesus did. So, okay. The other information about these feasts is that this year we're having, the year 2014 and 2015, we're having 4 blood moons. And these blood moons happen to be during the time of the Jewish Passovers, of the Jewish feasts. And so therefore these blood moons are of God. And that's why these feasts are very important, that we need to try to participate in them this year, next year. And so here's a passage from the book of Joel. And, related to the blood moons. So chapter 2, verses 30 and 31. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. And it's like, wow, look at all these feast days. There's so many. Whoa, there's a lot of learning to do. And my little pea brain is like, oh, how am I going to do this? How are we going to do this? But no, I found some PDF files that I'm going to put in the description section, places that we can click on. And it'll take us, right to quick descriptions of all this and, what to do so we can celebrate all these. So we can be closer to Jesus. So, okay, and here's one of them. I guess when it comes to the blood moon, Passover, the blood moon will be on the 15th, and Passover is 15th through the 21st. And then we also have, during the Feast of Tabernacles, a blood moon on October 8th. So, all right, there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of festivals this year. All right, this is actually going to be wonderful news. We're going to be doing lots of celebrations, lots of reading of the Bible, lots of getting closer to Jesus. So, yay, thank you, Lord Jesus, for this invitation. And everyone, God bless.